What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. I got a review for you. Let's get into it. Really excited to check this one out. It is another new model from CJRB, and this one here is their very first crossbar lock. This is the CJRB Hectare. So what we're going to do today while we're checking out the hectares, we're going to do some size comparisons, profile, weight, and then we'll jump into my thoughts and impressions. Let's kick it off with a couple of budget knife comparisons. First, we're going to bring out the Migron Moyarl, which is more of a medium-sized EDC. So this one here is coming in on the smaller end for medium. And here it is against the Civivi Amorite. Really enjoying that one a ton. But you can see this is definitely a very small knife by comparison for these two. We'll bring the Moyarl back out here in just a minute for profile comparison. Excuse me, a little catch in my throat there. Here it is against the Shaman, and we're going to bring out the Para 3 lightweight, which is pretty comparable in size. If you look at these, very similar. So this is what you're looking at. If you're looking at Para 3, it's going to be smaller than your bug out, and it is going to be similar in size to the Para 3 lightweight. You can see it is thinner than the Moyarl. And let's see how it actually compares against the Para 3. Pretty similar. I would call that even, and then let's just see how it's going to carry in pocket, how it compares folded up, sorry, not out. So it is smaller than both, and with that deep carry pocket clip, it's going to be way far down into the pocket. Let's move these out of the way, and we're going to grab a weight real fast on this. Doesn't feel super heavy, and I'm trying to angle it here. I'm doing these during the day, so the lighting's a little different. 2.7 ounces, really lightweight, coming in under that 3-ounce weight. So small, compact, lightweight. Let's go ahead and kick it down to the garage real quick. We'll do the cut test. That way I can jump into ergos. All right, guys, let's see what this one can do. Let's start with testing the factory fresh edge on this one. Good edge. CJRB doing really nice stuff over there with their factory edges, coming out really nice. Let's first start with some tabletop cutting. I am curious, this does appear to have a nice belly on it, so I do want to check just to see how this is going to perform. Looking for that seam real quick. Yeah, nice cuts across the tabletop. No issues with that whatsoever. Really has a nice bite. So not only does the edge feel good, but I really feel like CJRB has recently dialed in their AR RPM 9, and I am cutting away from the seam. So let's go back to the seam. There we go. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. I like that. Let's get our single ply cardboard and just do a little cut test in here. Yeah, laser beam here, guys. No resistance. I did catch it a little bit right here in that sharpening tool, but if you keep it out there on the edge, it seems to perform really well. Let me grab another piece. We'll test really quick. I got this bin right here. Yeah, nice tip there. Really impressive, guys. Let's just do some draw cuts. Yeah, really easy to control it. Let's see what it looks like after that little bit of cutting. I will say, and I'll talk about that up there, it's a little small for me, but I think if someone had medium hands on this one, it'd be really good. I see a little bit of gum up. I don't know if it's glue or tape or what it is, but let me just make sure that's not going to be what causes this to fail right here. And this isn't like an edge retention test. This is just, I want to see what it feels like cutting these different type of tasks. And I usually find that AR RPM 9 does kind of hold up well as far as how it performs. This one here, feeling pretty good. I think what was snagging there is probably, like I said, any potential adhesive that might still be on the blade or anything like that. So I'm going to clean it up.
and kick it back up to the desk.
All right, so back up here, let's talk about those ergos, guys. It's a neutral handle shape, so you're not going to have a whole lot of issues. You have milled out liners in here on both sides, so it is going to be reduced for weight. You can see on both sides the scales are reduced. You got a steel deep fold over pocket clip that sits flush to the scale, rides very deep. Very nice pocket clip. I didn't feel that at all during the cut test. Ergonomically, this to me is 3 3/4 fingers. I do land right on that nub in the back, and it does present a little bit of a problem for me with the larger hands. It's not exactly what I would like to see. If they could have just made this a little bit more flat on the round and not so pronounced, I know aesthetically it would have taken away, but it could have worked a little bit better. Very comfortable, good jimping. It's not super aggressive. It's not going to shred the pocket, but it is good because it allows you to get a nice grip against the palm and the fingers as you're holding the knife. It locks you in right here behind this finger choil, and the fact that it is a crossbar lock means that you have contact with both scales here, which is very nice. You have basically a 3 screw construction, including the pivot. So when you take these screws out and the pivot screw out, that disassembles the knife, which we will do later. I haven't actually done that yet. These have more of a bullnose style crossbar lock studs, which are very nice. I like these. Plenty of space to grip onto. I probably could have dealt with them coming up just a little bit higher here with that jimping, giving me one extra. That probably would have been just a little bit better, but as it is, I haven't missed them. I've had no issues actuating them. Works really, really good. Adversely, the way that they did this, it kind of interferes a little bit. You see right here on the scale where they have this little line drop down, and this cutout is not even with that. So I have learned if you try to come here, you got to dig down and get in there, and it makes it a little hard to flick. I've actually learned with this one here, follow their line and come way up into the corner, and it is a little bit easier to access, but it feels a little uncomfortable to flick out. Kicking it out like this, see if I can show you, kind of hitting it from the side and doing that, it's hit or miss. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I slide off the blade, and then adversely kind of digging in with the meat there, I can't really get the fingernail. I can get in there, and then slow rolling it, you kind of, to slow roll it, you kind of have to slide in and push into the knife really hard. You got to have great grip strength for that. So I think what they should have done is just a straight line through here. Yeah, it doesn't give it a little bit of personality, but it's so neutral anyway that I think just having this line go straight across and not flaring it out right there would give you better access to the lock bar. I think because they did bring this in so tight to the body and so low below the pivot that it actually does help with detent feel on the deployment. It's really one of the more solid detents I have felt on a crossbar lock. I mean, it feels like there's already a set of magnets installed inside and there isn't. So I would just, my only negative feedback would have been just pull that in. Just have that line go straight through and come right underneath of there so that it's even, and then you can actually use this little chamfer piece and extend it out a little bit. Or if you want, just go ahead and chamfer the whole thing. Just extend the chamfering right there so that you can get down into that. As far as the knife goes, it's got a great geometry, guys, for EDC. RPM 9 is a good steel. I'm finding more and more. I don't know if they've just continuously refined the process or what's going on, but it performs really, really well. Good edge retention, good geometry, nice factory edge on here. Great sharpening choil. Look at that sharpening choil, guys. The grind for the blade stops way back there where my finger is. So you got nice sharpening tool on there, good belly, good drop points, gonna really perform a lot of tasks very, very well. The best part is this is coming in at 50 bucks. That is comparable to your Moyarl. And I will say, if you can see, that is really good access and it's nice and low. So very satisfying on that detent. For me, 50 bucks, 14C, 28N. I prefer a little bit better than RPM 9, but RPM is a very solid steel. Don't get me wrong. The G10 on both of these are very nice. They now offer a crossbar lock for the Moyarl. I have not had a chance to check that version out, but I am interested in checking it out. Very competitive with the construction here. You do have a captive pivot. I have not disassembled this yet, so I don't know if this is a faux bolt or if it's real. We'll find out when we disassemble it. They both have T8 construction throughout, except you have T8 on your pocket clip, which is not deep carry. It is deep carry on your Hectare, but your Hectare appears to have T6, and we can verify that real quick. Let's take a look. Looks like T6. Yep, definitely T6, but everything else is T8 on here. So you have your advantage here. One bit is going to get your Moyarl disassembled. So the Moyarl continues to be just an outright banger for value for what you get. So ceramic bearings in the pivot here. I can feel that this has ceramic bearings in it. They do appear to be caged in nylon, so that's going to be better than your stamped, in my opinion, my humble opinion. And it's just really good value for money. The lanyard hole doesn't bother me too much. A pin construction would have been nicer because it would have been cleaner, but it's not awful. It's way back out of the way, doesn't interfere with the pocket clip riding deep. You know, just for a solid knife, it's going to be really, really nice. Let's go ahead. We're going to do our only spine whack test on this one here using the old Beavercraft. My old, this thing is all tore up. We're going to close it, reopen it. That's number 2. Again, closing it and reopening it, because if it's an accident, you're going to hit it, but you're not going to keep the knife open and hit it again, I wouldn't think. I would hope not. I would think if you're hitting it continuously with the lock and never resetting everything, that's emulating batoning. That's not an accidental spine whack. So let's go way out on the tip. Uh-oh. You saw it. Way out on the tip with that crossbar lock. Let's reset it one more time and see if we can duplicate that. Way out on the tip. Okay, so not that time. Maybe I didn't deploy it hard enough. Let's do one more. Yep, so way out on the tip, crossbar lock is failing. It's not broken in. I don't think there's any oil, so what I will do when I do the disassembly and maintenance and I clean everything, I will do that again. So tune in if you're interested in that for a spine whack test. Way out on the tip did cause it to break. There's a lot of things that can go into that. Could be oil on here, could be that the spring bounced a certain way when it hit. Everything from the back part of the spine was fine, but way out here on the tip where I have plenty of leverage on a medium whack, it did fail. So tune in for the disassembly. I'll make sure it's nice and clean, that there's no lube interfering there, and we'll check it again. Hey guys, I just wanted to do this for a quick insert on the Hectare. So I just finished doing the disassembly and maintenance right now and cleaning that crossbar lock on. It had a little bit of dirt and a little bit of oil on it. Soon as I cleaned it up, I retested it during the disassembly video and it did pass 3 consecutive reset spine whacks out on the tip. So stay tuned for that video after this. It'll be coming shortly, and I'll be able to demonstrate exactly what I did and how that fixed the issue. But it is a very thin blade stock, very thin geometry. This jimping really works right here. I think I actually even during that cut test, I can't remember right this moment, but I think during that cut test, I had my fingers on this jimping. It does feel really good. The pinch grip works really well on here. You do have to get up a little bit because it is a drop point, but it has such a nice drop out here, almost a spear point like drop, that it does work great for those detailed cuts. All in all, I've really been enjoying this knife for $50. If you like the aesthetics and you like a crossbar lock, this is going to be great. If you don't know if you like a crossbar lock, this is going to be a good one to test because it does feel like they got that opening hole in tight. It feels like they got their geometries figured out here to make it feel like it's locked in solid. I can't get it to pop out with the momentum. So this one here is an interesting one for me. It's just a little too small. I would have liked, if this would have come in around that same size as the Montreal, I think I would have liked it more. I also think it has a little bit of a thinner blade stock on it. Overall, it's a little thinner. Cute tip. They both have a nice aggressive drop point, opening hole. Really good geometry and slicers. Obviously this is a liner lock. This one here is a crossbar lock, so you do have your differences there, but very interesting model. What I'm going to do next after this, I'm going to go ahead and do the disassembly now, and that way I can clean everything up, and then we can jump into a quick spine whack test again to see if that does anything for it. But for now, that's the end of this review. Easy to recommend at this price point. RPM 9 is a very good steel. The build quality is very good. They took extra effort to reduce the weight. The G10 is grippy without being overly aggressive. Just a solid knife. Again, check in to the disassembly to see for the spine whack. That'll be a separate video. Let me know what you think about the Hectare. Do you have one? Are you interested in picking one up? Definitely let me know down in the comments below. Shout out to everyone out there that likes, comments, is subscribed, watches the video to the end. It all helps the channel. Special shout out to my members. You guys really make it happen. Thank you for your support. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.